Okay, brew day today. As you can tell by the title, it's going to be a Flanders Red, which is going to be a sour beer. Going to be souring with this Belgian sour blend. It's WLP 655, and everything comes in this vial: the yeast, bacteria, lacto, Brettanomyces. So it's kind of just a pitch and forget type of a sour. So we got a bags here. It's half Vienna, about 5.25 pounds Vienna, 5.25 pounds of pilsner, and you'll be able to see the other ingredients in the description. So got my water going, filtering it. It is blistering hot outside. I don't know if that's my water temp or not. But yeah, so I will get my grains crushed, and I'll check back when I'm doing in, I guess. Okay, I got my mash going on this Flanders Red. Just mashed in, and it's pretty hot. I wanted it at 156, 157. This is 159. One thing I found about mash temps is just by moving your thermometer around, you can hit a wide variety of temps. So I've learned just to trust my numbers and process. At the end of the hour, I know it's kind of sucks, but at the end of the hour, I'll go back and check that once the temperature's evened out, and then that's what I'll consider as my mash temperature. So yeah, I start pretty hard, but I try not to worry too much more past that, because you'll just kind of drive yourself crazy. And especially on this beer, if I mash a little high is what I want. So I have residual sugars for the lactobacillus and pediococcus to eat through in the Brett. So just to give it a more sour note to it. So this is my first sour. I love drinking sours, and I've been meaning to brew a sour for probably a good year. So when I thought I should have brewed a sour, if I would have brewed one, I'd be drinking it right now. It's one of those things. So might as well just brew one, and just keep brewing them every 2 or 3 months. So you just have a pipeline of sours coming. So all right, I'll get back with you guys in a later stage. Yeah, as you can see, it's only been mashing for like 10 minutes, and it's come down 2 degrees from 159 to 157. I'm shooting for 156, so that's perfect. So yeah, I really freaked out. I used to freak out a lot and like put cold water in, or like heat water up, and then I would be way off, and then it would be a nightmare. So just be consistent. I usually heat up like 2-3 quarts of water on the stove, especially in the wintertime, and we'll put it into the mash tun and heat that up while my strike water is heating up, and then that way I'm always at a baseline temperature when I add the water in. And then there's calculators on the internet, and use the same calculators, because some are off a little bit, I found, or say different things. So, and yeah, so don't worry too much about the mash temperature of your mash tuns. All right, got the runoff going. I've done this about 3 times, so. Perfect. 90-minute timer going off. That's actually probably been boiling for about 5 minutes, but overshot of my water, or my volume just a little bit, so that's all good. But yeah, I got to do a 90-minute boil because of the pilsner malt that's in there. Anytime you do pilsner, you have to do 90 minutes, or it'll leave the DMS in there. So gotta do that. All right, do a 60-minute addition of hops. Get back with you. All right, chill time. Chilling this bad boy down. These plate chillers are pretty cool. I like mine. It'll turn what is basically scorching hot liquid It's probably at 200 degrees right now. Wait for it to come out. My ground temp right now is probably in the upper 70s, so I can't get this thing too cold. I'm gonna have to put it in my firm fridge just to let it cool down, I suspect. So before I pitch my yeast, so we'll give that a whirl. But yeah, these things are great. This is crazy. This thing from Kate Carboy was 80 bucks. I have a video of my unboxing of it, so I haven't gone back to my immersion chiller, so that tells you anything. I soak this whole thing in Star San in a bucket over there. I just soak it in there and, you know, dump it out and soak it, dump it out and soak it 2 or 3 times, and that's it. I've done probably 10 batches with it, so it works great. I'm actually thinking about making maybe a little mount right, like right on my boil kettle here. It's like a little something just to hold it. The only problem is this thing gets really hot, so I don't know, I might make like a aluminum barrier or something, you know, just so it doesn't, or some other metal that doesn't conduct heat very well. So alright, I might do one more shot of my fermentation chamber, but alright, later. Alright, brew day's all done. Got my STC controller unit down here, and one of the benefits, I can't stress how important it is to have a fermentation chamber. I went probably almost 3 years without one, and I brewed decent beer in the winter and shit beer in the summer, consistently shit beer. And I mean, we're in a basement in Colorado, so if you could find a better place than 5280 to brew some beer in a basement that's not a firm chamber, let me know. But it still gets the ambient temperatures 70 probably, and I would think that's fine. But when beer ferments, it actually creates its own heat and generates its own heat, so then you're, you know, fermenting at 75, and it makes a good beer go just okay. So fermentation chamber, since I've gotten my fermentation chamber, every beer I've done is just solid. So and this thing right here, I loved my first one so much, but it can only hold, and as you can see, it's at 22 degrees and actually chilling as we speak. I'm going to get it down to 20 degrees, which is 68 Fahrenheit. And I just got a little cheat sheet down there. So my groundwater temp is, just judging by the thermostat on my hot liquor tank, it's in the mid 70s maybe. So, and you're always going to be a couple degrees higher than that, at least on my 30 plate chiller. So yeah, so it came out at 26, which I think is like around 80 degrees. So it cooled it off 5 degrees above groundwater temp. So without the firm chamber, I would still be trying to cool, you know, the wort down to pinching temp, which is 68 degrees for me. Keeping it there, there's just no good way to do it in the summertime, especially, than a fermentation chamber. So before you guys buy like an immersion chiller, or maybe not immersion chiller, but your next big purchase should be, and it doesn't even have to be big. I bought this thing on Craigslist for and the guy had it hooked, he had it just as a little kegerator. So I bought this thing for 30 bucks, and then I still need to wire up another STC, but that whole unit right there is probably maybe 30, depending on what you bought. But so for 100 bucks, you have a way to make your okay beer amazing, which is probably the best 30 to 100 bucks you ever spent. So yeah, there's the beer right there. Chilling. I got the temperature probe stuck to the side of it, and it will keep it at 68 degrees the whole fermentation chamber. So the whole time it's fermenting. So I don't know, since this is a sour, I don't. Oh, here's my. I'll show you my beer stash later. Not nearly as impressive as some of the people's, like Clement's Home Brewing did a video on all of his beers, and he has hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of beer. It's crazy. So I mean, it's pretty cool. You get to age a bunch of stouts and stuff, but I guess I'm not that patient on stouts. I just drink them when I get them. So, but gosh, what was I gonna say? Yeah. Anyways, so I guess just kind of the Homebrew Wednesday part of my video. I live not too far away from Crooked Stave Brewing, which is probably one of the top sour and Brett beer producers, probably in the country at the very least. And so, like this sweetheart right here, they probably haven't made this in a year. This Oculus, this is super tart. It's amazing sour. This Brett Bay Ore, super good, really tart Brett. It says a golden sour ale in oak barrels. So this one for sure I'm going to make a starter with and pitch this into a that's a really good beer. The Saint Bretta is I think it's a wit beer with, it's 100% Brett. So probably what I'll end up doing with like a beer like this is culture, I don't know if you can see any of that yeast, but culture the yeast and either do 100% Brett beer or pitch that in with some other sours or some other dregs or something. I'm not sure. I don't even know what this is. I just found it. No idea. But it had sour sticker on it. Let's see what I got here. Well, this Hop Savant. One interesting thing is on this Hop Savant, it's also 100% Brettanomyces Pale Ale. So, pretty good, I mean, really good beer. Definitely like a lot of like kind of fruity flavors that the Brett does. 6.7%. But if you can see there, it's 462. So he dry hopped, or the guys over at Cricket State dry hopped it with two different things, and here's a 343. For the life of me, I can't remember. One was an experimental hop. They're both experimental hop, dry hopped beers. So really the only non-sour that I'm thinking about aging is some Bigfoot 2013. You know, it's just a super cheap beer, so I got 2 4-packs of that, which I'm going to be aging, and just trying every time a new, you know, till 2014, I'll drink a 2014 compared with the 2013 and keep going up. So here's a Russian River, or not a Russian River, I'm sorry, a Jolly Pumpkin. I'm going to try to pronounce that. Brustringra? I don't know. Here's a La Roja Jolly Pumpkin. This one was okay. Not super crazy. I don't think I've ever had that one. There's another Hop Savant back there. I got 2 Russian River concentrations. I have not actually tried this beer. I've been really wanting to. So I've actually been waiting to try a lot of these beers when I have sours going so I can pitch the dregs. Because it's, to me, it's kind of a waste just to drink a sour and not pitch dregs into a sour beer of your own. So, and here's another one. I don't really know what this is about. Paradox Beer Company. Yep. Still $12. Sour. And I do know that it has a ton of dregs on the bottom, so it's good enough for me. So yeah, that's my that's all my beer storage. Actually, I've got a bunch of bottles and just some grains that I use a lot, like some really common ones for IPAs, pale ales, and stuff. Really, that I, you know, some Munich, Carapils, Crystal 60, stuff like that. So yeah, that's my thing is so important. 22 degrees, 0.7. It's still chugging it down. So I'm gonna pitch that thing of sour dregs or the Belgian sour, and go from there. Let's see what we have in here while we're down in the basement. Kegerator. This is the Citra Pale that I'm drinking right now. I have an amber on tap, which is pretty decent, and the Nelson Extra Pale Ale actually kicked like 2 days ago. So, you like that artwork? Beautiful, right? So, one of these days I'm going to really just get into it and like do some really, it's been like 3 hours just chalking up the old kegerator. But the man cave is still not in operation. I've had this fridge since I was like 15. So this thing's ancient. But this thing will be, I'm going to put a TV up there. Got the guitars and stuff down here, but this thing will be a good man cave one day. I have my fly tying table. I don't know if you guys fly fish, but if you guys don't fly fish, you're not fishing. I tell you that right now. Good shit. So, this vise right here, this thing, $200, and that's a cheap one. I bet you I have, with all my fly tying material, I bet you I have $1,000 minimum just invested into this. But it's a hobby I'll do for the rest of my life, so love it. Ovation guitar, good shit. So, all right, guys. Well, that's a Homebrew Wednesday update with just a brew day update. So, all right, we'll see you guys.